Hello and welcome to Prime Time Football European Time London Game Edition. Let's go, Jets versus Broncos. So my storyline for this is on high horse. So Broncos are definitely used to play at Mile High, so they are not new to riding high. But after beating the Eagles in fashion that they did, with really late game comeback, yeah, they definitely feel good about themselves, especially when you consider that in their division, Chargers are on two-game losing streak, and Chiefs are with negative record, which is a huge surprise. Yeah, and there is also Raiders who are probably like a bottom three team in the NFL right now. So they are feeling really, really good. And it's kind of the exact opposite for the Jets because their fuel has run out. They have not seemed to be even able to put themselves off the ground, and they are the only team to have not scored a win so far. We don't have a team without the loss, but we have one without the win. Fortunately, this is Jets. So it really seems like this should be a very, very easy game for the Broncos. And I get why you would come to this conclusion, but at the same time, these games can be tricky. So first tricky part is you're traveling. You never know how your body will acclimatize to European weather and different time zones, etc., etc. And also when you get such a highly emotional big win on the road against Super Bowl champs, and now it's time to get the easy W. There are really easy games in terms of NFL. So let's focus on the matchups, shall we? Now, so for the Jets to win, well, they need to run the ball because let's face it, if we are talking about pass offense, Jets are kind of Karen Wilson, Brees Hall, and Mason Taylor or nothing, and two of these guys are not even wide receivers, so that's a problem. And it's especially a problem when you are talking and going against really good pass rush of the Broncos and special secondary. So in this matchup, Pat Surtain is going to shadow Garrett Wilson, and it's like, okay, so what else do you have? And I don't really think Jets have much because Justin Fields is not necessarily a prolific passer. So if they want to win, I think they need to shorten the game, means running the ball. They need to do what they do the best, which is running the ball, and kind of forget about passing offense. So expect really one safety high and a lot of people in the box, and Jets need to put their big boy pants on and try to outmuscle the Broncos. Well, with that, there's a problem with this guy in the middle in DJ Jones. This dude is massive, and he's the cork that you don't necessarily hear a lot of talk, a lot of buzz. He's not Nick Bonito, who's leading the league in sacks, etc., etc. But he's damn good, and he's a problem when you want to run the ball. So good luck with that. Now, Brees Hall, it's kind of unfortunate because his rookie season was spectacular, but then the injuries slowed him down, and I'm not saying he's not looking like a great running back, but he's not looking like Brees Hall from year one, which is a shame. He was on pace to be really, really something special. Justin Fields, he missed a couple of games, and his stats look good, but they're kind of murky because they're really being like implicit, like how to put it, boosted. Yeah, boosted is the right word by his performance in fourth quarter, which that would sound like a good thing. Not really, because in those fourth quarters they usually have been with huge deficits, meaning the defenses were giving them easier plays, so they did not score quickly and just trying to beat the clock. So that kind of boosted his stats overall. Now let's focus on the next matchup, and that's Quinnen Williams versus Bo Nix. So Quinnen is another guy from the Jets that he's been playing well, I think. I really don't think he's back to his last year self when he was kind of a non-factor in my eyes. But he has also not been a game wrecker, and they need him to do that because Jets not only they are the only team without the win, they're also an only team without any takeaway on defense, which is ridiculous to not have a fumble or recovered fumble or an interception in 5 games. Wow, that's sick. And when you also consider how much they have invested in this defense, they have hired Aaron Glenn as a defensive-minded head coach, and you don't have any takeaways, and it's not like your defense is otherwise absolutely humming. So they need Quinnen Williams to be a disruptor, to try to sack Bo Nix as much as he can, and hopefully force a fumble. or like, perhaps like amplify, like compromise the throw for some interceptions. Because if not, like, I struggle to see Broncos offense not putting up 17, 20, 23 points on this defense, and like your offense just can't win because yeah, they are just not explosive enough. And Justin Fields has like a famous stat that if ever his defense or like his team uh, got scored 25 points or more, he has never won a game. So for the Broncos, it's pretty much get to 25 and he won. So Bo Nix, can you do that? I definitely think so. He's definitely turning the corner from like early season struggle, but he kind of had them last year, so it seems like kind of his thing. Uh, and he definitely was at the forefront of that comeback last week. And it's not like prior to them scoring, he was actually playing bad. I think he was playing well, but they just could not finish. So I do definitely think that Bo Nix is on trajectory to become very, very solid and capable NFL starter. And in this game, it reminds me kind of the matchup between Packers and Browns week 3, in which I was like, okay, so Jordan Love, your kind of only job for this one is not to lose this for us. And this really feels like for Bo Nix, don't lose Broncos this game, and you should be absolutely okay. In that game, Jordan Love unfortunately gave up an interception late, which allowed Browns to come back. So if Bo awaits that, and it's like, yeah, he's playing against defense that doesn't have any takeover this year, they should be good. Now, the last matchup to me is Cortland Sutton versus Brandon Stevens. And why I do think that the Broncos offense should be absolutely good is I don't necessarily trust Brandon Stevens as the number 2. Okay, they still have Sauce, and they perhaps will match him on Cortland Sutton, so this is not necessarily going to be the matchup. But Broncos do have other wide receivers, or at least like wide receiver weapons, like Evan Ingram, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, etc. So we will see this one several times, I think, at least in game. And Cortland Sutton is just such a better player than Brandon Stevens, who, by the numbers, he does not look that bad, at least by the PFF grades. But when he's targeted, he's allowing passer rating of almost 130, which is, yeah, if you would have as a QB this rating throughout your career, you are, let's say, 20 or 25% or 25 rankings over guys like Aaron Rodgers and so on. So you would be absolutely crazy in the lead in terms of best guy with passer rating in the history. So that's allowing is not necessarily good. And I'm like, he's, in my eyes at least, on the verge of benching. Never liked this signing, and so far he's not been proving me wrong. For Cortland, I was like kind of on the train that feels like I wish that the Broncos had more reliable number 1 weapon than is Cortland Sutton, or like better. But truth to be told, I kind of came down or like accepted this idea that Cortland Sutton as your 1, that's absolutely okay. And I think he well bloody earned that number 1 spot. He's a big wide receiver that's going to play physical. He's reliable, and he's like workhorse. And he's been through all the like bad quarterback play that Denver had to suffer in last years, or whether it's Drew Lock or I mean Russell in that 1 year was bad. Really, who was there prior? Yeah, you can see like there was. It's very similar to like what Terry McLaurin had to endure in Washington. So now with Bo Nix, I think they're really starting to get a connection together, and he is definitely a weapon that Jets should fear. So at the end of the day, I think this is definitely a game that heavily favors Broncos. I don't like the matchup for the Jets offense at all, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, but for the Jets, they definitely should have this underdog mentality, in which like the only way is up. This is a weird environment. It's like, well, we are playing in Europe, and at the same time, it's like for Broncos, they are coming from a huge win. Those games are definitely like with potential of upset. So if Jets are going to win, I will not be shocked, because this one, it kind of feels like it could happen. Will it? Probably not, but it could. Okay, that was my European primetime football. Hope to see you guys in next videos. Until then, have a nice day. Bye bye.